Okay, so we're going to be on number 4 of the popcorn and puff bundle. So this one was originally called the popcorn lattice. So this one has a very it's got a repeat that should be easy. It's got a pattern within a pattern, which will reveal itself soon. So for this one, again, any cotton, I use a Dishy worsted weight, so Knit Picks Dishy. There's 100 grams in a ball there, and my 5mm hook, and I'm using stash that I've got from other washcloths that left me yarn behind. For this one, you're going to need, so this one's got the popcorn stitch in it. So far we've had a puff stitch, then a popcorn with a single crochet, and then another one with a puff stitch that was worked in the round instead of the row. So this one we're going to go with popcorn. So the stitches you're going to need to know for this one are a single crochet, your double crochet, and your popcorn stitch. And there's a little bit of counting. So to adjust this one's going to be a little bit different, but by all means not too difficult. And I think I've covered everything, so yeah, we might as well get started. So we are working in the row for this one, and this is one of the few patterns where the chain 3 at the beginning of the row, it does actually count as a stitch. Normally I'll do a chain 2 and not count it, but in this one it does count. Okay, so you're going to, if you want to adjust this, so the original chain count in the pattern is chain 41. And if you want to adjust it, which is what I'm going to be doing as well, then you need to do your starting chain in multiples of 8 and then add 1 stitch. Okay, so I'll just see, what will that take me? I'll probably do to 24, then make it 25, just so it's similar size to all the other ones that I've been making for this bundle. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what is that? 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's your 24. Yeah, because if I go too high, I'm just trying to think how big I want to make this one. So I'm just going to add, so if I go, I'll add 1. So we'll keep it to that small. We should still have a fair number of repeats in that to make it okay. All right, so I've done 25. If you wanted to do the original pattern, then you want to chain 41. If you want to adjust it at all, then just do multiples of 8 till you get to the size that you want, and then just add 1 stitch. All right, so this is row 1. So we're going to start in the 4th chain from the hook. So this doing that is going to count as 1 double crochet plus a chain 1. Now I'm going to work into the bumps because that's where I prefer, but you can work into the V's if you prefer. But whatever you do, just keep it the same. So we've got 1 bump there, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to do a double crochet in that. Okay, so this here is a double crochet chain 1. I'm then going to do 1 double crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is setting up the foundation of what we need for the rest of the pattern. So you do kind of want to get this one right. All right, we're then gonna, this is the part we're gonna repeat. So you're gonna chain 1, you're gonna skip 1, and then you're going to do 1 double crochet in each of the next 7 chains, okay? So this part you'd keep repeating. This is why I was trying to think if I'd really made it big enough, but I have. So this middle part you will just keep repeating. So we need 7 double crochets, 1 in each chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So then we're just going to repeat that again. So chain 1. So you just do that until you get to the end. So this should take me to the end. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which it does. Okay, so I'm going to end up with 3 blocks there. Okay, so skip 1, now another 7. And I do think this one is one that you're really going to want to take notes for, or even better, just buy the pattern because it's all spelled out and you can just come back then and refer to the video for what's what. Plus the pattern, you'll have the picture guide at the end so you can see if you match with what's going on. Okay, so this one we're going to finish directly in that last stitch. And we're going to turn. Okay, so that's what it will look like. If you've done the original chain, then you're going to end up with it much longer, but you're still going to have that last chain 1 on your yarn hand side. So yeah, so I'll come back for row 2. So row 2, we're going to start with a chain 3. And as I mentioned at the start, this does count as a stitch. And then you're going to do 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 double crochets. So that's your first one. So the next 2, you're doing 1 double crochet into those. And then you're going to do a popcorn into that middle one there. So popcorn, we're going to do 4 double crochets, and again a link to the tutorial if you need the tutorial. So 4 double crochets into that stitch and pull your hook out just to remind you, insert it in and make that. Okay, and then you're going to do 1 double crochet into each of the next 3. All right, so that's the very start. Now this next part that I'm going to say is what you're going to be repeating all the way along. Okay, so we've started, that's your block there, you got the popcorn. So we're going to chain 1 and we're going to skip that chain 1 space. Then you're going to do 1 double crochet into each of the next 3 double crochets. And then you're going to do a popcorn. So you've got your 7 double crochet block there. So you've done 1 into the first 3, 1 double crochet or your UK trebles. You then got a popcorn into the middle one. So again, that's 4 double crochets. Okay. Then you've got 1 double crochet into each of these next 3. Okay, and then you're just going to keep repeating that. So we're doing it to the end, which just happens to be because I didn't do all the repeats, so we've got less of them. So we're going to start again. So we're going to chain 1, and then you're going to skip that chain space. And we're going to do 1 double crochet into each of the first 3 in that block. You've then got a popcorn. Okay, and then you got 3 double crochets left. So we're going to finish by doing the last double crochet into the top of that turning chain. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So if you're doing it with the pattern, then you're going to have more. Oops, I didn't do the popcorn. That was silly of me. Left it as a fan. Don't do that. You're probably sitting there going, you didn't finish it. See, I figured it out. Okay. And then one into that chain, top of that chain 3. Okay. So now you should have a popcorn in the middle of each of those blocks, and then we're going to turn. All right, so we're on row 3. So what we're going to do here, we're going to chain 3, and that's going to count as a stitch. We're then going to do 1 double crochet into each of the next 6 stitches. So that includes that popcorn. Okay, so that's the first one. So then we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's the first block completed. We're then going to chain 1 and we're going to skip that chain space, and then we're going to do 1 double crochet into each of those 7 stitches. So each of these blocks we just need 1 double crochet. So if you're using a UK treble, then that's 1 UK treble. Okay, so this is the part that you would be repeating all the way along if you had more stitches. Okay, we're then going to chain 1 again, and we're going to repeat that. We've only got 1 block left, but if you're using the pattern, you're doing a longer chain. Maybe you're doing a blanket or turning into a top or whatever your heart desires. Then you would just keep repeating that middle block, and then you would do this one for the end. Now again, don't skip that turning chain. It can be like, this is how we often end up with less, making it shorter, because it's very easy to miss that chain. So just make sure that you have 7 stitches in that block. So you can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I do need to still work into the top of that chain. Okay, and then we turn. So now you should see that you've got these little popcorns in the middle of a little square block, and I'll show you. Okay, so we're on to row 4. So this one we're going to start with a chain 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm just thinking back to the first where I said that was a chain 1, but I don't believe it was. But anyway, the rest of it's right. So now we're going to skip the next stitch. So that chain 4 is a double crochet plus a chain 1. So this is the first stitch. So we're then going to skip this second stitch, and we're going to work into the next one. Okay, and then we're going to chain 1, we're going to skip 1, and we're going to work into the next one. And then we're going to chain 1 and skip 1. Now this should be skipping into the last stitch. Just hoping that's actually staying properly focused. Might move that so it remembers where my hands are. So I'm going to chain 1. So this time you're skipping that chain space. So you're going to have this chain space carrying up all the way through. And then you're going to skip 1 and then work into that one. Chain 1, skip 1. Okay. Chain 1, skip 1. Again, so that should mean you work into the first one and the last one of that chain block. So they can be like your little checkpoints along the way. Okay. So creating like this here, where we've got this gap, you're now creating that. So we're going to end up with these little blocks of popcorns. Okay, so we've chained 1, going in. Hook doesn't want to work. into the first one, chain one, skip one, double crochet, chain one, skip one, double crochet. So now this end one, so you keep repeating that until you get to this last block, and this one here. So don't forget, so this is your double crochet, but we want to work into the top of the chain 3 for the very end. Oops, got a yarn over first. Okay, and there we've got it. So then we turn, and then I'll show you row 5. So that's what it should look like from the back. All right, so row 5. So we're going to start with a double crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then we are going to do 1 double crochet into that chain space. Oop. And then we're going to do 1 double crochet into the next double crochet. Oop, I better put my hands in the right spot. And then we're going to repeat that 2 more times. So essentially just getting to the end of that block. So in the double crochet in the chain space, double crochet in the double crochet, double crochet in the chain space, double crochet in the double crochet. Okay, we're then going to chain 1. We're going to skip that chain space, and we're going to work into that first double crochet in the next block. All right, and then we're just going to keep repeating what we just did. So double crochet in that chain space, and then we're going to do double crochet into the each double crochet and chain space until we get to the end of that block again. Okay, so just, if you need to, you can add some stitch markers, but as long as you're keeping that row free. Okay, so you can see we're keeping the gaps, so we're going to keep the gaps here. So we're going to chain 1. So you'd be repeating that all the way across. Ooh, I'm tying my finger in a knot. All right, so we chained 1, and now we're just going to repeat it into that very last block, and just make sure that we work into the top of that chain 3. So you're just doing a double crochet in the stitches and the spaces. So I'll show you the last little chain as well. So remember, this is a turning chain with so this is a chain 4. So you're going to do a double crochet in the space, and then just count up 1, 2, 3, and do a double crochet into that 3rd chain, because you've worked, the 4th chain is your space. Okay, and then you're going to turn. All right, so you can see now that you've got the start of your next block. Probably better if I had a darker background. All right, so you're just going to keep repeating rows 2 to 5 until you get to the end. So if you can make it square, so in the original pattern, I repeated it 4 times, but I omitted the last repeat of row 5. So you finish on a repeat of row 4, we've got that gap. All right, I will probably just repeat this till I've got 3 rows of popcorn, and then I'll finish on that gap there, and then I'll come back and show you the border. All right, we're going to add the border now. Now, if you're following the pattern, I've set in that to finish on a row 4 repeat, which is this line here. I've opted for this one to finish on a row 3 repeat so that the top and the bottom look the same. So entirely up to you where you want to finish it, but that's where I'm finishing mine. So for this one, we're going to be working with just a basic border. So we're going to start, you need to have the popcorns facing towards you so that the border is front side facing as well. We're going to start on the last row here. So we're going to do 1 single crochet. So on the side, we're doing 1 single crochet into each stitch along the side. And when we get to the chain space, we'll do a single crochet into that chain space as well. Okay, so that was the chain space. So one single crochet into each stitch. If you're using your UK terms, then that is a double crochet that we're doing. Okay, so one into each. Then we've got another chain space, so one into that chain space as well, and then one into each stitch. And then when we get to the corner, we're going to do similar to what we've done. So we've got a turning chain there. So our corner stitch, we're going to do, wherever you can make it work, single crochet, chain one, single crochet. Okay, so now side two, we've got the chains and the double crochets to work around. So we're just going to work evenly down the side. You'd be aiming for roughly, you could do 1 or 2 per row. I'm kind of spacing mine a little bit further apart than that, I think. So it's kind of 1 per 3/4 of a row. So that chain space, make sure you're just continuing working. So even if you can, if you're going to put a specific border on, so if you're going to do a fancier border than what I'm doing here for the next round, then you want to focus on your stitch count as well. But we're not working into the stitch, except for here where I've got a thing, but again, it's into a part, it's not into the middle of the stitch. We're just working wherever makes sense for us. Now there's sort of a golden rule that you can do 2 single crochets per double crochet, but I'd like to just spread them out just that little bit more, which is why I say it's kind of 1 every 3/4 rows. Okay, so then that corner stitch again, it's the chain, turning chain, so we're going to do a single crochet, chain one, single crochet into that corner one, and then we're going to repeat what we did for the first side. So it'll be a little bit more difficult because you're working into the chain, but we're just doing 1 single crochet into each stitch, and you'll do 1 into the chain space that we skipped as well. Okay, so just continue that. So side 4 will match what you did on side 2, and the corners are all a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and then I'll meet you back for round 2. Look how much neater that is looking already just by adding that little bit of a border. Alright, so I'm back to the start. I'm just slip stitching to that first stitch that I made in round 1. So you can see we've got a nice edging on it now. It's all evened it out, and again, this is smaller than the original pattern, so keep that in mind. So if you made your chain to the pattern or you adjusted it, then you might have more rows as well. Okay, so round 2, very basic one. Again, if you want to add a fancier border, you can, but it's just 1 single crochet into every stitch. You can do a chain 1 to start with if you prefer. It's such a small stitch though that it's not a problem if you don't. So 1 single crochet into each stitch. If you prefer in UK terms, then that's a double crochet into each stitch. Okay. I'm just trying to race to the corner so I can show you the corner. Don't forget that there's a link to the yarn as well, so if you want to purchase the Dishes yarn, it is an affiliate link, so it will give me some money. It will not cost you any extra, but hey, you can decide if you help me or if you let it all go to the big company. Alright, so last stitch on the side. So we get to the chain 1 space, and we're doing the same again where it's 1 single crochet, chain 1, 1 single crochet into that chain 1 space. And then the rest of the sides are exactly the same as well. So just be mindful of that first stitch, which is sneaking under there. If you miss it, it's not the end of the world, you'll be fine. Okay, and then just one single crochet into each stitch on the side. So just repeat that all the way around. You can see what that's looking like, and I will meet you back here. So we just finish off with a slip stitch to that first single crochet and fasten off. There we go, weave in our ends. So this one was number 4. We have one more coming out in this bundle before we move on to the next bundle. So again, these are great for practicing stitches. Hopefully you had some fun playing around with the popcorn. If you want to purchase the bundle, maybe try the next one. The next one's a little bit trickier, it's more lacy. So if you want to practice from the pattern and then just refer to the video, then I recommend you purchase the bundle and see, have some faith in yourself, because I know you can learn. So yeah, it's actually quite cute on the back as well, but there's the front with all our little popcorns. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the new tutorial every week.